Hello everybody, my name is Blazer and welcome to the first chapter of the audiobook of the Minecraft book Invasion of the Overworld by Mark Cheverton. Chapter 1, Gameknights Game. Let's get into it. The gigantic spider approached his hiding place slowly, methodically, its multiple red eyes burning like angry coals at the heart of a smouldering fire. Gameknight 999 knew it was coming, but was not afraid. His iron armor would protect him. In fact, he wanted the spider to come closer, hoping he had the timing just right. Clicking sounds from the spider floated through the forest trees and reached his ears, getting louder as it neared. Then there were more sounds from its companion. 2 spiders were now tracking him. Leaning out to look around the trunk of the gnarled tree, he took a quick glance, seeing the arachnid pair searching for him, the monsters peering into dark hollows and leafy shrubs. Moving back behind the tree, Gamenight pulled out a torch and placed it on the ground, the yellow light casting a warm circle of illumination that would be seen by other users. After a few seconds, he dug up the torch with his diamond pickaxe and put it back into his inventory. That should hopefully attract some attention, he thought to himself. Drawing his sword, Gamenight started to run out into the open, the 2 spiders upon seeing him give chase, and now the sound of a dim-witted zombie added to the voices of pursuit. Sprinting as fast as he could, Gamenight ran around trees and over hills, making sure that his angry friends were still close behind, the hounds still chasing the fox. Then he saw his prey in the distance. 2 of his own teammates were closing in on his position. Gamenight smiled in anticipation. "Hey Dreadlord 24, Sals, I'm over here," Gamenight typed in chat, his message broadcast to everyone on the server. "I need help." "Coming," typed Dreadlord. Gamenight looked over and slowed, letting the monsters close the distance a little, the chatter from the spiders getting louder. Looking ahead, he could see his teammates were right where he wanted them to be. "Stay there, I'll come to you," Gamenight typed. Continuing onward, he headed for his 2 unsuspecting saviors, sprinting in a wide zigzag pattern to give the zombie a chance to catch up. He needed all 3 of the monsters together for this troll to work. Once the zombie and spiders had caught up, Gamenight ran towards his companions. They were standing atop a hill devoid of trees, with the thick forest surrounding them on all sides. It kinda reminded him of his teacher, Mr. Jameson, his bald head poking out from a ring of hair at the sides. Moan! Click, click, click. The monsters were getting a little too close. He had to pay attention or he'd spoil this troll. Focusing on the here and now, he sprinted up the hill, drawing the monsters with him, their hunger for destruction keeping them following obediently. Cresting the hill, Gamenight met his 2 teammates at the top, and then kept running, the ravenous beast still in tow. "Gamenight, where are you going?" Souls asked, confusion clearly voiced in his message. "I thought you needed help." "I was wrong," typed Gamenight. "It was you who needed help." Just then the monsters burst out of the trees and reached the top of the hill, instantly falling on the 2 players. The spiders both attacked Dreadlord while the zombie slashed out at Sals. These 2 players were relative noobs, with only leather armor and stone weapons, their lack of experience and foolish trust in Gamenight leading to their downfall. Black furry spider legs slashed out at Dreadlord, quickly shredding his armor, their clicking getting louder as they attacked. It almost sounded as if the creatures were excited at the thought of a kill. At the same time, the green arms of the zombie struck out at Sals, hammering him with devastating blows. Dreadlord's armor failed first, followed by his HP, health points, dropping quickly to 0. Then he disappeared with a pop, his inventory left to bob and float above the ground. Their need for destruction not sated, the spiders then turned their burning eyes onto Sals. Still battling with the zombie, he never saw the spiders jump on him from behind. His HP went to 0 quickly. Gamenight stopped to watch the battle, laughing behind his computer screen, a feeling of malicious satisfaction flowing over him. He loved trolling people, even his own teammates. "You suck, Gamenight," Dreadlord typed from jail, the respawn point after your character died in this game of team PvP. "Yeah, thanks a lot," Sals added. "Lol," Gamenight replied, then turned and headed back into the heart of the battle. Minecraft was probably his favourite thing to do. He spent hours down in his basement playing the game, increasing his inventory and prestige on multiple player servers, usually at the expense of others. Gamenight was 12 years old and not very big for his age, but in Minecraft that didn't matter. All that did were armor, weapons, and a ruthless strategy that included sacrificing others to achieve his own aims. Thinking about these 2 idiots he'd just trolled and the countless others he'd done the same to in the past, Gamenight smiled. Pulling his attention back to the current game, he moved his character back into the fray, looking for more victims. He didn't care which team they were on. There were still more tricks to play on the other players, and nobody was as good at him as him. He still had one great trick to play on all the users of this server, something that would make people remember the name Gameknight 999. Running to the top of a small hill, he could see players in the distance hacking away at each other, their usernames glowing white above their square blocky heads. They were fighting near what looked like a lava river that had an intricately curved stone bridge spanning the Molten Canal, a work of art that must have taken someone hours to construct. The bridge led to a tall, round tower built out of mossy cobblestone and grey stone bricks, the magnificent circular structure stretching up high into the air. At the top of the tower shone a brilliant white light, diamond beacon casting a brilliant shaft of light straight up into the blue sky, the end goal of the game. Atop the tower sat a block of white wool, the finish line for the game. Whichever team climbed the tower first and took the fuzzy white block was the winner. From his view, Gamenight could see the players fighting at the end of the bridge, trying to gain control and cross over the lava to get to the tower. Both teams were evenly matched, with no players able to disengage from battle to cross the bridge without being picked off by archers. That would soon change. Moving to a copse of trees that stood near the battlefield, Gamenight put away his sword and drew his bow. It shimmered an iridescent blue. The Punch 2, Power 4, and Infinity enchantments made it the envy of many players. Scanning the area quickly to make sure there were no mobs nearby, he built a series of blocks beneath them, jumping upward as he placed each stone, raising himself up into the leafy canopy of the trees nearby. This would give him an excellent vantage point from which he could fire his bow, while still being able to crouch and hide behind the green blocky tree limbs. Drawing an arrow back, he let it fly towards one of the opposition, someone named Chimney Slip. The arrow streaked away and sailed through the air in a gentle curving arc, hitting him squarely in the back, his character flashing red, signifying the hit. Firing 3 more arrows one after another, the deadly rain fell down on Chimney Slip, annihilating his armor and leaving his dark skin exposed. Firing one last arrow, Gamenight killed his prey with a chuckle, and then fired indiscriminately into a group of players, not caring whom he hit. Arrow after arrow streaked away from his bow, the string humming with each shot. Gamenight continued to pump the projectiles into the cluster of players, bringing down more and more of them. "Who's firing those arrows?" a user named Kuta typed. Gamenight laughed and fired more arrows, crouching down between volleys so that he would not be seen, then popped up again and fired more lethal shafts, the letters of his name disappearing with every crouch. "Watch who you're shooting at," King Creeper Killer typed in the chat. "This is supposed to be a team game." "Yeah," added Duncan. "Whoever that is, try being a team player and not a butthead." Whatever, Gamenight thought to himself. His arrows had thinned out the crowd, so there were only a few players on each team remaining. But many more complaints were coming from the jail, his name being cursed now by other players. Pulling out his pick, he dug the blocks out from underneath him. In seconds, he was at ground level again, sword drawn and on the run. Using the terrain to hide his approach, Gamenight closed the distance to the other players. As he neared, he could see that there were only 3 players on each team. Really 4 on theirs, but Gamenight didn't consider himself on anyone's side, other than his own. The 6 players were fighting hand-to-hand with iron swords and iron armor, diamond being too rare to attain on this server. Well, unless you cheated like Gamenight did. Using an X-ray mod, he'd been able to find diamonds relatively quickly and craft them into a complete set of armor and sword. Now it was time to reveal himself. Opening his inventory, Gamenight removed his iron chestplate, leggings, boots, and helmet and replaced them with the diamond set, the blue armor making him look as if they were covered in ice, his sword almost glowing in the darkness. A hissing, clicking sound made him spin quickly. A spider had snuck up on him and was attacking, striking at his diamond armor. He took a hit, but it barely registered against his nearly impenetrable shell. "You want some of this?" Gamenight said, aloud to no one, his basement empty. "Come on, let's dance." Swinging his mighty sword, Gamenight killed the spider with just 2 hits. Turning to re-engage with the other combatants, he heard a grunting, moaning sound. Zombies. Spinning around, Gamenight saw about half a dozen zombies coming out of the forest, followed by a cluster of spiders, all closing on his position. With dusk coming, it was quickly becoming monster time. "You want to dance too?" He waited patiently for them to get closer, then took off running towards the battlefield. The zombies obediently followed, their thirst for destruction making them give chase. The other players were shocked to see a diamond-clad player emerge from the shadows, and actually stopped fighting for a moment. One of them, the team captain, named In the Little Bush, saw his name hovering over his diamond-helmeted head. "Gamenight, come help us," In the Little Bush typed. "We can win this." "Hey, how did you get all that diamond?" complained the opposition's captain, Wormacan. "That's cheating. Hey, admin, Gamenight cheated, ban him." "Quit your crying," Gamenight typed quickly. "I bought all of you a present." Just as he emerged from the shadows, the mob of skeletons and zombies and spiders all flowed out of the darkness and fell onto the players, the sun having dipped into the horizon, allowing the monsters to keep from bursting into flames. "Lol," Gamenight typed, then added, "Smiley face." Running through the confused players, he headed straight for the stone bridge that spanned the river of lava. "Go Gamenight, get the wool," Phaser98 typed. "We're gonna win." "That's what you think," Gamenight thought. Weaving between users and monsters, Gamenight sprinted through the battlefield. The players were so busy fighting monsters and each other that none of them tried to stop him. "Get him," Zeppelin4 typed as the diamond-clad warrior streaked by. Slashing at one of the opposition as he passed, Gamenight reached the bridge, stopping for a moment to admire the incredible construction. He could appreciate the amount of time it must have taken to build the beautiful structure. He chuckled to himself as he stopped and placed a string of TNT blocks across the curving overpass. Satisfied with the placement, he then placed a redstone torch near the last block. Backing away quickly, he watched as the redstone torch caused the TNT block to blink. The detonation process started. Then they exploded, first one block detonating, and then the next, as the chain reaction ate away at the colossal bridge, turning it from a work of art to a pile of rubble. Cobblestone blocks flying in all directions. The passageway over the lava river was now completely destroyed. Looking back across the Molten Canal, Gamenight did a silly dance, mocking the other players. Quick, get the ball so we can win, typed Phaser98. That's not fair, he cheated, typed Wormacan. Yeah, he should be banned, Zeppelin added. Just get the block so we can win, King Creeper Killer said. Sprinting up the circular tower, Gamenight ascended to the top in seconds. He moved close to the edge and peered down at the losers below. Hurry up, get the block so we can win, one of them typed. You mean this block? Gamenight typed. Moving right next to the white wall, he just stood there and looked at it. You want me to get this block right here? Gamenight mocked. This white wall right here in front of me? Yes, just get it, typed Phaser, now getting frustrated. I don't think so, Gamenight typed, as he planted blocks of TNT around the white wall, stringing them together with redstone dust and finishing it off by placing a redstone torch. As the TNT started to blink, he disconnected from the server, disappearing from their screens and leaving the combatants standing there with foolish looks on their faces. He hoped the players were now yelling at their computer screens in frustration. Now nobody could win. He trolled the game and won. In his view, anyway.